He's a big puppy. I can't believe you have this freaking puppy. Should we get him on camera? Should we get him on camera? So you guys, if you're listening to this, you're going to have to watch.
Jackson, come, mate.
You can tune in at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Come here, mate.
Jackson, come.
Hey, mate. How are you?
That dog, dude.
Just
He's
like the biggest baby.
So we adopted Jackson at 8 weeks old from the RSPCA in Australia, well before we decided to go traveling. Otherwise, we would have got probably a pocket-sized dog.
Yeah.
But he's done really well on board. We actually get questions all the time. How's it like? What's it like sailing with a dog on board, especially his size? But it's all about the dog. He's super chill on the boat, so he's not bothered. I mean, look at him. He's just happy to be here.
Yeah. The question's not what is it like sailing with a dog on board. It's what's it like sailing like a monster on board. What is up, my beautiful people? Welcome to Between Two Sheets, the podcast that brings you beautiful people from around the world. I've got some very, very interesting people today. They have a YouTube channel. It's called Sailing Sunday. How did you come up with Sailing Sunday?
Do you want to tell them?
Well, the boat's name is Sunday because every day was meant to be like Sunday.
The whole theory behind
barbecue,
the
just
boat.
hanging out. But then I said we should have called it Monday because every day's work.
Every day something's breaking. Every day something's like, what?
That was the theory behind Sunday.
I like it. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, tell the viewers at home where you're from, how you got into sailing, that kind of thing. How you met each other.
Yeah, wow. Well, I'm from Vancouver, Canada. Ryan's from Adelaide, South Australia.
Yeah.
And we met quite a long time ago when we were babies.
How many years ago?
Oh, man.
About 18 years ago.
18 years. You're like 22 years old. How did you meet that?
Yeah.
So Ryan was playing hockey in Canada and came to live with us with our family to play.
Wait, whoa. I didn't hear this part.
Yeah.
He was the foreign exchange student?
He was.
No way.
And I don't know I still think this to the day. I don't know what my mom was thinking having a 16-year-old Aussie boy come live in the house with a 14-year-old daughter.
So
that was a recipe for
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah. She's dropping bombs on the podcast.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a good story.
No, so we've been together for a long time, haven't we?
Yeah, a very long time.
Oh, you guys are so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
How did you get into sailing? Were you guys always sailors?
To be honest with you, we've never sailed before we left. We had a boat back. Yeah, we had a boat back home, and we were like, oh, let's just go do something crazy, get a caravan, go around Australia. Let's get a boat. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. And then boats are expensive in Australia, right?
Just to preface as well, we already had our gigantic German Shepard. So we were like, we need to think of something that we can do travel-wise that we can also take him along with us. So we were limited with our options.
Yeah, so caravanning I thought was a bit too constrained. So I was like, let's get a boat. It can be bigger, 46 foot. We can cruise around.
You can travel the world as well.
But then half the price in Europe. So then one thing led to another, and we bought a boat in Malta. So.
Oh, that's why you guys were in Turkey and the Med and everything.
Yeah,
you guys
that's where
actually
we started.
found and bought your Beneteau. You have a Beneteau 46?
Yeah.
Beneteau Oceanus 46.
What year is it?
2008.
And do you like it?
Love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's
been an amazing first boat for sure. Like, it's treated us so well, and we bought it in such good condition.
Yeah, done
pretty
150
big.
hours.
Yeah,
150 hours on the engine.
Yeah, it was basically brand
Since
new.
you bought it?
Yeah.
When you bought it?
When we bought it, yeah.
Whoa.
So sadly, the original owner passed away, and it sat around for a while. But
Basically brand new, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we bought it basically, we had looked around the Mediterranean for boats, and we had liked the Beneteau Oceanus. We also loved the 473, like the model before
My buddy
that.
has that one.
It's a beautiful boat, and it's a bit more like the older, no, it's like, it's modern, but it's got the really beautiful rustic feel of like the solid dark timber and stuff. And we fell in love with that one originally, and we had a boat that we had a contract on in Greece, and it ended up falling through.
A 473.
Yeah. And so we kept trying to find that. And we actually looked at one in Italy and stuff, but we had a really hard time dealing with the brokers in Italy. I think they were too busy on siesta. They just didn't want to work. They were like having a great time.
Yeah.
And,
I need to go to Italy.
Yeah. They know how to live, I think, a bit better than the rest of us. They were having a good time. But yeah, so we ended up with our Oceanus 46, and we've been, like, it's been a wicked boat for us, hasn't it? And a lot of people said with like a production, more of a light production boat. Like you can't cross the Atlantic in that and blah, blah, blah. We had an amazing passage. Yeah, it was awesome. So
Yeah, good way to go though for your first boat. That's not a small boat for your first boat.
I'm not gonna lie though. When we first got it, I was like, yeah, this will be fine. We've got it. And then I think we spent the whole month like just building courage to get it out of the marina.
You were too scared to move it.
And then a friend ended up helping us.
So big, dude.
But we've got these big, the Simpson davits?
Yeah.
We've got these real big long davits out the back. So I was like, it's 46 foot, it'll be all right. But it's actually like 52 feet.
Yeah, it's also like reversing a forklift. It's like,
because you got the two big
damage.
like out the back of the boat.
Oh yeah, it does act like a forklift, like an upside down forklift.
Yeah, so when you come into a marine, you've got to make sure you don't punch a hole into someone's boat because you got these.
Have you done that yet?
No, almost. That time in Croatia.
Yeah, we've gotten better.
Give me like an overview of where you guys have been, and then let's go back and talk about like some stories of those places.
So we started in Malta the first year, then we sailed across the foot of Italy, across to Albania, Montenegro, Croatia, then back down Montenegro, Albania. Then in winter, we sailed through Greece and Turkey in winter.
Which was amazing.
Which was incredible because there's no boats out there because they're like, you can't sail in winter, but we did. And it was wicked. And then we got stuck in Turkey with COVID. We're there for, 7 months?
7 months.
7 months. And then everywhere was closed. The only country open from Turkey was Malta. So we did a 7-day sail from Turkey straight to Malta. So we skipped Greece in the summer. Then what did we do then? We went all the way through to Italy, Sardinia, Balearic Islands, Spain.
No, you passed it. We did Sicily, and then we went up the Amalfi Coast, and then we came back down to Sicily, and then we crossed to Tunisia.
Oh, that's right. COVID had another...
You went to Tunisia?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
no
Tunisia.
way.
That's
Holy
right.
shit,
Yeah.
man. I've always wanted to go there. I've read so many pirate books. And Tunis was like the pirate capital of the Med, right?
We went to we didn't end up going all the way up. We ended up just in Monastir, but it was really cool. Like at first, when we first arrived in Tunisia, it felt like Toto, we are not in Kansas anymore. Holy cow. But as soon as it took one day, and it's just a culture shock, I think. And then as soon as we were there, it was like people are super friendly, super comfortable. Everything was really cheap. It was awesome. It was a really cool
most
country
importantly, Star Wars was filmed there.
Oh, really? Is it really?
Yeah, they got the whole little village.
The original one?
Yeah, which one was it?
I don't know.
One of the originals, I think, with Jabba, the Jabba.
Jabba
he
the
walks
Hutt.
into the bar. Yeah, Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, I think that's the little town, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could guess on which one that is, but I'm sorry. I'm not much of a...
You'll get roasted if you do.
Yeah. Some people are rolling over right now like,
I know.
I'm unsubscribing.
I was going to say Return of the Jedi, but it could be episode
No.
1. I don't know. I got no idea.
No, so then after Tunisia, we came back to Sicily. Then we cruised through Sardinia. Then along the Balearic Islands, then Spanish coast, Gibraltar, and then, out to Canary Islands, across to
Cape Verde,
and then
to
now
Caribbean.
we're here.
So here we are.
Where did you land in the Caribbean?
Martinique.
Yeah.
So only because we heard you could check in at a bar and it cost $3.
Which it
and
does.
That's exactly.
Which it does.
Yeah.
That's the reason that's so funny when people go. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. When I go to a new country, I don't even look it up. I didn't even know where to go here. I'm just like, I'll figure it out, man. I'll see where all the boats are. I'll go there. I'll anchor in a safe spot. I know how to find a safe anchorage. I've done it a million times. I've been to 100 islands, and I don't really, pay attention to the whole cruising guide thing just because. But I probably should.
Yeah.
But the cruising guide's generally the cruising guide is correct, 100% correct. But then it's when you're actually out there doing it, it's not correct. A lot of
There's much more to it. Right?
Yeah. A lot of countries have written down regulations and expectations when you arrive, but then when you get there, they don't enforce it. They don't want anything of it.
In most of these little island nations, it's really kind of cool how chill the people are. I mean, super chill.
The most confusing part about it, though, is I'm currently going through my Australian citizenship in Australia. And they're going through my passport stamps at the moment just to rectify all where we've been and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, your passport stamps don't match up. And I'm like, well, some countries do stamp us in and some don't. And some don't care in this. So even coming here to the Caribbean, we haven't been stamped in because when we arrived in Martinique, they didn't even look at our passports.
Yeah, it's a French country.
Yeah, they don't
Everybody
care.
knows there's an unwritten rule that if you have any problems with your paperwork, you just go to a French country.
So
And you might be an international spy. That still remains to be seen.
But even in Italy, like when we got there, it was like COVID, and I guess they weren't meant to do quarantines and all this. And he's like, "Yeah, look, I don't really know what to do. I think like we're in lockdown, so like I'm just not going to stamp you." We're like, "No, we need to be stamped into Europe." And he's just like, "Well, I don't know, just leave." And we're like, "What?" So,
Can I please have a stamp?
yeah, please.
Can I get one on my hand?
Yeah, like do it in Spain. Where you going? Spain. Do it there. And I'm like, "You serious?"
yeah.
Yeah.
No, so we've been around, haven't we? We haven't gone as far as some people, but it was a
Yeah,
pretty
we're
big
starting
journey
to make
for
our
us.
journey.
Yeah.
You know, you're starting to get a little bit of his accent.
No, don't say
Yeah. Yeah. I hear it.
I've tried really hard.
Just a little bit, but I can hear it. It's perceptible.
I've had a drink, so maybe that's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Soon she'll start mumbling and speaking gibberish. Oh, mate. Well,
Just like you.
Yeah. No, I've been in Australia for a long time, but I'm trying really hard to keep my accent.
Yeah.
So
Lived there for 10 years, eh?
Yeah.
About.
So tell me what it was like to be 16 and 14. You probably never really met many Aussies before.
I
but
literally thought before I met Ryan that Canada was the center of the universe. I did not even know that people lived. Well, I knew, but I didn't
Here we
think.
go. Typical North Americans here, eh?
I thought Canada was like the it place to be, and that was it. No, so it was weird. Like, Ryan just showed up, and like, I didn't even understand what he was saying when we first met.
Yeah.
He was sitting there talking to me.
it.
I think
You
the first thing I asked her, she wants some lollies, which in Australia is candy.
Yeah.
She's like, what the hell is lollies?
Which would also be really weird if you just came up to some 14-year-old and like, hey, do you want some candy? Like, it's a weird way to break the ice, but no. So yeah, you came over and we
Let me tell the story. I came over there, swept her off her feet. Rest is history. Bob's your uncle. Boom.
yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Okay, we got the one side.
Yeah. I didn't even like him at first. And
She had a
then-
boyfriend, actually.
Yeah.
She had a little boyfriend when I rocked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Dumped his
you started
ass and-
flirting with
Nah.
my friend, and I got really jealous, and that was where the switch flipped, and that was it.
And never
then-
flipped back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't yet.
Not yet. 18 years on, we're still kicking. We've survived on a boat.
Are you guys married?
No, we're
No.
not. We met so young. By the time we were actually old enough to like consider getting married, we had already moved on to like buying property and traveling and
Having a puppy.
having a puppy,
Yeah.
so but also like his family's very traditional, my family's very non-traditional, so like I never pushed it, and he gets a lot of shit for it, the poor guy.
Yeah. Come on, ease up. We got a boat instead. Isn't that better?
Yeah.
So
But-
tell me about the dogs. You guys work. I mean, you guys have. How many dogs do you have on your boat right now?
We have 3 at the moment, although one's over here right now.
Yeah.
But as we travel, it started in the Med, but as we travel, we foster stray puppies or kittens, or we work with organizations to help with sterilization programs and raising funds for them and stuff. So at the moment, we have 2 puppies that we fostered from Guadeloupe. They were dumped on the side of the road in a box, which was really sad, and but it's super common in a lot of these countries. And yeah, so they're on a bit of a travel with us. They've been to St. Bart's already, and now they're here in St. Martin, and we're trying to find homes for them over
I
here.
want one of those puppies.
Yeah.
They're in boat dogs in training. They'd
They're
be
so
perfect.
cute. I mean, all puppies are cute.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
No, they're pretty sweet. But yeah, so it started when we were in
Well, it started-
Montenegro,
But I
didn't
think
it?
it's always started like even back home in Australia, even in Canada actually, before we moved to Australia, we're always like fostering or doing something with animals.
Yeah.
So then like naturally we came here, we're like, oh, we'll get a boat, it'll be fun, we'll party, we'll do this, and it's like we end up just fostering animals and rehoming animals
Yeah.
and taking them to vets, and we're like, well, you know what, let's just do this. Like we
But
enjoy it.
it kind of became a situation where you can't really ignore it. Like once you realize it. So we were in Montenegro, and Kotor Bay, which is absolutely gorgeous. If anybody hasn't cruised there with their boat and they're over there, you have to do it because it's amazing. But Kotor, Montenegro has like a cat issue. And we were walking through there and we found this sad little tiny 4-week-old kitten with his eyes glued shut from virus. And we couldn't walk away. He was crying on the side of a bank. So we grabbed him, took him to the vet, got him cleaned up. And Ryan was like, you got to put him back. You got to put him back. And
On the bank?
Yeah. Ryan's like, you know what's going to happen if you bring him home. And I'm like, no, I promise. I just want to make sure he's okay, and then we'll find him a home.
Is he still on the boat?
Well, so
unfortunately.
we brought him back on the boat. He became obsessed with our dog. They became brothers, obsessed with each other. So he became our boat kitten. And so it kind of started from there. It was like he started the ball rolling. And because we already had a YouTube channel, people, when that video came out of us rescuing him, they're like, we love that you did that. We'd love to donate towards you. So it kind of naturally started to happen to where we're like, whoa, shit, we can like keep this going and we can keep doing this as we travel. But so Finn was our boat cat. He ended up coming and becoming a permanent crew member on our boat. Sadly, last year when we were in Sicily, he went missing and we never found him.
Oh, no. Like
So-
he got off the boat somehow?
Yeah, we were in a
yeah.
marina, and in Sicily, there's a lot of street dogs and stuff, and we had been there for a few months, but none of the street dogs had ever come into the marina, and this one night, my speculation is he got taken by the street dogs because they had come in that evening, and he was so attached to Jackson, he didn't understand dogs to be...
Some dogs are dicks.
Yeah, he would have not expected a dog to be
Oh, that
unfriendly, so my
sucks.
guess is he went that way. But anyway, so he kind of got the ball rolling. So we've kind of, as we've traveled, so in Licata, we rescued 4 puppies. 3 of them went to homes in northern Italy. Like friggin', they went to like Florence. One of them is
Lake
in
Como.
Lake Como, like living the luxury life.
We've come from street dogs.
Yeah.
One of them went to Germany, and so we've just done it along the way.
How many dogs and cats do you figure you've rescued so far?
You could, but dogs and cats together, it would have to be. I don't
Yeah,
know,
Sicily
100.
was probably about 10, between dogs and cats, maybe 10. Tunisia.
Man, you can't count in Tunisia. They're
Tunisia,
like
we
30 or
s-
40.
Really?
Well,
Wow.
Or more,
we
more,
sterilized alone, just sterilization. We sterilized 30. We rescued a couple dogs. So
There's tons. Yeah.
there's a lot.
So you guys are, I understand you're putting the energy out there and you want to do this and this makes you happy and makes you,
Yeah.
but is this something that you're like, okay, look, we just arrived here. Let's go right to the shelter and see what kind of help they need. Or are you just like kind of magnetically attracting that?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what I've learned to do is every country we enter, I tend to do a bit of research before we get there, and I'll go on Facebook, find the rescue groups, or Jackson's hitting the camera.
Oh, it's okay. He's a big puppy, man.
Before we go to the countries, I'll find like the Facebook groups, like the forums for animals in need, and the local organizations, and I'll usually get in contact with them. And then that way, if we find any ourselves, like our own rescues stuff, we've got contacts. But then also we can get to know the organizations and work with them, because we do receive donations through our YouTube. So we'll find one. Like, so Martinique was pretty good. We didn't have much to do there that we found. As soon as we got to Guadeloupe, I started looking into the organizations, and there's a lot of issues with dumping puppies and stuff. So these puppies we have, sorry.
Who does that, man?
It's pretty brutal.
I'm
but
sorry to interrupt, but Jesus.
Yeah, it's
How could
brutal.
you like dump a puppy out on?
I know.
It's just
They're so cute.
It is, and it's just education. The locals, they don't understand about sterilization and stuff. They just think, well, that's okay. They'll be happy on the street, blah, blah, blah. But it's so cruel. So, like, when this video comes out of these puppies, when we have them, we'll get an influx of donations. And what we'll probably do with some of that as well is to put it, funnel it back into a sterilization program that's in place over in Guadeloupe.
Okay, you got to back up a little bit. So you're going to make a video about the puppies that you're rescuing here.
Yeah, so we have they just naturally flow into our vlogs, and we have a link through our PayPal that's dedicated to our rescue work, and people can donate towards that. And that money all goes towards like either our own personal rescues or the local organizations.
And do you actively say like, look, if you with this little puppy eyes, like if you want to help this puppy, you can go to this link.
You'd be surprised. Puppies sell themselves. People are like, oh, that's such a cute puppy. I want to give you money. Like, let's do this.
No,
But it's-
we don't really push it. We just do it, and people see it, and they want to help.
They appreciate the work that we're doing without us really having to ask for it, which is nice.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And you have a bunch of furry friends.
It's also
Yeah,
a great
it's
excuse to have puppies on board.
yeah, and that you don't have to keep
Although when we were in Tunisia at one stage, we had 13 kittens on board.
Yeah.
Which plus the dog, plus we had one puppy at one stage, so it was friggin' bananas. Like our boat is, I mean, it's a zoo now.
You had a menagerie. on board.
A quick funny story. So when we put our boat up on the hard, because it was cheaper to use the cheaper boatyard to do our work, and then stay in like a hotel type room. Was it a hotel, I guess.
Yeah.
Room. So we rented this little like 2-bedroom villa type thing. Went on the cheaper boatyard because it worked out the same price as a normal marina boatyard. And we didn't tell them we had all these animals. Anyway, the video came out, and the marina, the resort place with the villas, liked our video and our Instagram, and we're like, shit, we had like 14 cats in the villa, 2 dogs.
Yeah,
and then they said no animals allowed there.
Well, they didn't. I did say we had a dog. He's like, no problem. But over in Tunisia, like animals don't live inside the house. Like they look at them like they're dirty, right?
Yeah,
they have to be outside on the street or in the garden. And when here we are renting a room with like, all these cats and 2 dogs running around.
It was great, but it was crazy.
Do they make a mess in the boat?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those puppies, bless their hearts, they are such messes. But then they're so cute and they're so excited to see you. And like when we come back to the boat now, guaranteed there will be shit everywhere.
Yeah.
But we'll go back.
And 2 happy puppies.
Yeah,
not
they'll be
like
wagging
shit,
their
like stuff, like actual. Like all over the bathroom.
Although they're really clever, like we keep them in an area where they can't get out, otherwise they'd wreak havoc all over the boat. But then when they come out, they're really good. They like go and use the grass mat, like Jackson uses a grass mat on our bow and stuff to go to the bathroom sometimes. And they're really clever, but obviously they just can't hold it long enough. They've got like puppy pads that they poo and pee on, and
I'm
they
the
run
same
through
way.
it.
Yeah. So is Brittany. No, they actually they do use like the toilet train, right? Because that's the first thing we do.
They just get so excited, they run through it.
Yeah, we put him in the bathroom. We've got a pretty big head.
This
in
podcast
there.
is going downhill, by the way.
Isn't it?
I love it. No, this is great. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we put him in the head, and it's a pretty big one. It's like a proper shower and stuff and that. And so they got a bit of room to play in. But they got their puppy pads. So they use the puppy pad, but when we get home, they get excited. So they run all over the puppy pad getting excited. So that's when it gets...
They don't realize that.
No.
Yeah, so like we got to like go in there and clean it. They're jumping all over you, and you're like, all right. So like have a shower.
It's one of those things, it's kind of like sailing. It's like when you're doing it and things are going bad, you're like, why the hell do I do this to myself? And then it's amazing, and you're like, oh, that was worth it. That was pretty cute.
When
That
you
was
have
fun.
like a bunch of kitties and puppies on you, licking you, or in the morning when they're like licking your feet.
Yeah, exactly.
And not running on your face with piss and poo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want that.
But it'll be good. Like once we find them homes, it's always such a good feeling for them to go to their new homes, and you get updates from the
Yeah, that's what I was
families.
going to ask next.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's amazing to see, especially when you can see the story the whole way through. So like these puppies we didn't personally rescue, but we know where they came from. We've seen videos of where they came from, and we've seen the progression. But like, and then one day we'll see them in their new homes living like the best life and blah, blah, blah. But like the puppies we rescued in Sicily, like we literally found them on the beach with their dead siblings, eating each other to survive.
Oh, Jesus.
And they...
That sucks.
Yeah, sorry. This is really negative. And then they are living the most insane lives now. And it's like, it's insane to know that you were living on the street, like on a beach in Sicily,
Yeah.
like struggling to survive. And now they're living like they're pampered pooches. Like,
But they almost died when we had them, didn't they?
yeah. So yeah, it's a really rewarding thing. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. I don't suggest it for everyone. It's hard work because,
Emotionally, it's hard.
yeah.
It is actually emotionally really hard.
Really? So it's hard for you guys to let go?
Yeah, you get
it's
attached
just
to them.
hard
as
to
well.
see some of the things we've seen,
Yeah.
like
Oh, like Tunisia was pretty brutal. Like the animal welfare over there is pretty hardcore. So, I mean, we saw cats decapitated, had their legs chopped off. I mean, this is really going bad. I
yeah,
hope.
to change
Sorry.
the subject.
No,
This
no,
is
no,
really
no. It's
brutal.
interesting. I'm sure that everybody's interested. I
Yeah,
mean, not a
yeah.
lot of people are doing this.
Just tell us if you want to change the subject.
No,
but-
no. I want to know the real deal.
No, we've seen like broken spines where they're completely paralyzed. We've had to put them down. Like a lot of it doesn't end up on our YouTube channel because it's almost too brutal to just put out. Like we want our videos to be,
Happy.
they're pretty much what our daily life is, but we also want to look back at them and think of happy times. We don't want to see all that kind of horrible stuff sometimes.
We
but-
put things out there, but there's just things like you can't put everything out there,
Yeah, it would upset.
Yeah.
It's pretty upsetting. So yeah, it's hard. we've seen some amazing stories, but we've also and outcomes, but we've had some pretty brutal, things.
And how much of your life revolves around animals?
Well, like our daily life, just having the dog is full on, like everything revolves around him. Even our sailing revolves around him.
Everything revolves around the dog. So,
but then our rescues and stuff, it depends on what country we're in. If we're in a country where, like Spain, for the most part, where we were, was really well managed. I know if you go further in, maybe there's a bit more of an issue with the strays situation, but for the most part, we didn't see strays, and the cats that we saw were really well cared for by the locals and stuff. So we didn't end up doing a lot of anything while we were traveling through Spain.
In Cape Verde, we fed heaps of dogs and stuff and that. But like when we got here, we were like, oh, we heard there's a big problem in places like it was in Antigua. Someone said there was problems.
Yeah, certain
SVG.
countries.
It's Grenada. We heard there's like problems down there. So we're like, oh yeah. So when we get here, let's go up to BVI's. Let's just have fun. Let's just, relax and everything. We've done this big Atlantic crossing, and then we'll get back to work and we'll spend, some time, spreading the awareness down there. But then we got here and already we've got 2 puppies. So.
Yeah, but we try and do it, like we don't force it. It's just usually our own rescues, like we come across, or, it's something that naturally happens. So
when you say you come across, I don't come across puppies in a box every once in a while.
Yeah, no.
But do you guys just invite that energy into your life?
Yeah,
or?
it's Brittany just
so.
Scrolling through Facebook or talking to organizations like, oh, so they need a home. Oh, they need rescued. Oh, okay, we can do that. Then I come home like,
no,
what?
but normally, like I'm, it's become this unconscious thing that I do too, where I'm just always scouring, like looking in ditches, looking in, you see a garbage, it sounds terrible, you see garbage bins, you listen out, because you'd be surprised how many people throw puppies and kittens in bags in the garbage. In Sicily, we used to kick each garbage bin as we walked by to make sure there wasn't something inside of it, which is actually sounds crazy, but it's common.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So anyways, so it's something that I'm just always now become hypersensitive and aware of. Guadeloupe was a Facebook thing that I just was looking out for, because we hadn't had a fosters on the boat for a long time.
Oh, you were missing them.
And I was having a bit of like what they call
postpartum depression,
empty nest syndrome or whatever. So I was looking out for it.
But Guadeloupe, though, it seemed like they're getting dumped daily. There was puppies getting dumped daily, like on the road in the bins and all that. And that's when we're like, well, I know we aren't going to do anything yet, but let's just get these 2 puppies and we'll be able to find them a home. And that's how these.
Can we all just agree that if you dump a puppy in a trash bag, you're going to hell? Let's just make that. I think that might be the title for this podcast, actually.
You're going to hell.
So I have to ask, and this is going to be kind of funny and a little messed up. If I was Ryan, and Brittany brought home 13 cats and I didn't have any say in it or anything, they were just there, I don't know if I'd be very happy about that. Has this ever happened?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think many times, I think with Finn, hey? No, not Finn, the other one with the broken leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brittany went into town to get some food and I picked her up and she just had this cat and I was like, oh, really? What are we going to do with this? We're leaving tomorrow, Brittany. There's many times where Ryan, especially Tunisia, because it became ridiculous, but there were so many on the side of the street that you just couldn't walk past. And Ryan got to the stage where he's like, Brittany, we literally cannot have another animal on this boat. And I'm like, stop. But Ryan.
Stop.
Yeah,
the only thing that's helped is that because we get donations, Ryan's like, before the issue was financially, we can't afford to
it got to the
do all
stage
this.
where we just it costs so much money, because when you go to a foreign country and you walk in with cats or dogs, they just see dollar signs because you're not a local, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to pay for them to get spayed and neutered and tested and passports, and I mean I can just imagine how much.
It was just hard. I just said to Brittany, we can't actually financially keep doing this. And then that's when the whole Jackson's street started.
So that was your first argument. You were like, we can't afford to keep doing this. But then once we started getting donations, he's like, oh, well, damn it. I got to get a new reason.
Yeah, now it's we got the money sitting and she's like, Ryan, we got some money. We got a few $100 in the account. We can do this. And I was like, oh, yeah, we can.
But also when we were in Tunisia, even though you were like, Brittany, you got to stop, he also saw how bad it was there. And you got to the stage where you were like, this is ridiculous, but Okay,
Nah,
I get
look,
it.
we always,
Ryan's kind of a stray puppy himself.
yeah.
Ryan's the kind of guy I would come home with a puppy and he'd be mad and then he'd be the one cuddling with it in the corner afterwards.
My dad was like that. He'd be like, I hate that cat. And then you'd see him like cuddling with the cat.
That's exactly
There's
Ryan.
nobody's looking.
I'm just lucky Ryan's a really nice guy.
No, I do want to help too. Like it's not like we stir each other up, but I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
We just need a
beautiful,
bigger boat.
guys. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
For all the cats.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I get an 80-footer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
you
if
can
we had a
fit.
bigger boat, I'd definitely be a bit more like for it.
Everybody jokes on our YouTube channel that if we got another boat, we'd have to call it the Ark or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome. You should do that.
Yeah, I would like to.
Seriously, you should market that.
Yeah.
For real. I think it'd be so cool.
Yeah,
You know how many
Yeah.
YouTube viewers you would get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had like 37 cats on this a 90-foot schooner and everyone had their own
Yeah.
room and it was all like made up for
Like
The Sunday Ark. It'd have to be like an old timber or
like
something,
a
right?
Turkish goulet
Turkish,
or
yeah, go do it, man. That's
that
like
would
a
be
great
wicked.
idea.
But that's the thing. Like everyone always like, oh, I want to get a bigger boat or like upgrade a bigger boat. And I sit there and think, yeah, that would be wicked. But then I just know we would have like 4 or 5 animals, 6, 7, 8 animals at a time, not just 2 or 3.
Well, that's a good segue into money because you said that it costs a lot of money. And how exactly do you guys make money? Because you're both very young.
Yeah.
You have a fairly large boat. You foster puppies. You have a YouTube channel. Do you make all your money from the YouTube channel?
No, we've kind of got little things coming in all different directions, and none of them as a one is enough, but kind of all together keeps us going, doesn't it? So
Yeah. So we have back home. We have a place that we Airbnb. So
Okay.
that kind of
which is
supports us.
perfect because Ryan can manage it from the boat, like on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have a manager. You
No.
manage it yourself.
Yeah. So I just manage myself, and I'm in the building industry too. So if something goes wrong, I got friends and stuff back home that can help out with like fixing stuff or whatever if something goes wrong. But it's generally been pretty good, touch wood, hasn't it?
Yep.
Whoop.
Ooh, boat's
That's a swell.
rocking.
But
If
we
the
got
boat is a rocking, don't bother
Yeah.
knocking.
Yeah, so our Airbnb does quite well for us and helps keep the
YouTube,
everything going.
And then we got Patreon, YouTube, and then the animal stuff is Jackson's Treats. Brittany sells art and stuff online too.
like as we travel as well. Like when we were in Turkey, Turkish towels and textiles and stuff was beautiful over there. So I did a big stock up of that and held the stock on the boat, and I sold it from my Etsy page. I do like handcrafted stuff. So like we've literally just have random things all over the place.
That's
that
amazing.
keeps
Good
us
job,
going.
guys.
So
Yeah.
just little bits here and there.
We
just
also
keep us
like
going.
we sold our house and like we saved up enough to keep us going for the first year or two. So it's only been this last year really that we've had to luckily our YouTube channel picked up just enough that we were able to kind of keep it going with
Keep
that.
pushing
And
forward,
then
yeah.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Hey, we have to take a little bit of a break because I got to put some lights on, and I'm gonna grab me a beer if you guys want a beer.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just give me a second because I can't see anybody on.
Yeah, it's getting
Yeah,
dark.
it gets dark quick, eh?
The rocking of the boat's hilarious.
Yeah. No,
So do
Jackson.
you edit this as well? Like you'll cut all.
these ones I really probably won't do much.
Yeah, Brittany's the one talking.
I'm
tonight.
talking too much. You got to cut some of that out.
That's good. You guys want a beer now?
Sure. Yes. Sorry. I
I'm
don't mean to
okay.
steal
Ryan
your beer,
will
but-
be happy with one.
You don't have to worry about that. This was a gift from a fan actually.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
He brought me a case of beer, and I was like, "Wow, dude, thanks."
No, that's awesome.
We've had some wicked experiences with subscribers that we've met. You must have that a lot then, because you're
Yeah.
way bigger than we are.
I love it. I love it.
Was that guy on the beach just before when we left? Was he?
Yeah, he was a fan that recognized me. It's different in a place like this because this is a fucking mecca of boats.
Yeah.
So if you guys have never been to St. Martin or the listeners at home don't know what St. Martin is, it's one of the most interesting islands I've ever been to because it's divided in half by this imaginary line, and the French own the top part and the Dutch own the southern part. And it's got this huge lagoon. It's almost like an atoll in the making. You know, like another million years, this will be an atoll. But it was a volcano at one point. It's got this big, huge lagoon. And around the lagoon is a ring road. and it's about half the island, and that is all of the yachty specific places. Like there's probably 8 chandleries, a huge electric store, Ace Hardware, like anything you want, and you can access it all by dinghy without shoes. Not even kidding you. I haven't had shoes here for 2 weeks.
And they really cater to the yachties because they've got like picnic benches with free Wi-Fi. Like they know what the yachties are after.
They know what we want.
This is an amazing yachty island. And I saw so many boats here when I got here, and I was like, wow, this is going to be kind of shitty. Like, wow. But I understand why people use this as their home base. A lot of people use this as the base for the whole Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yes, we when we first got here, we met a few people who said, and not just one or two, but like a few people, didn't they? Said that they do everything from St. Martin, and then they go back down to
for like 6
SVG and sail around everywhere for 6 months, then come back and restock up in St. Martin, and then they go north and come back restock in St. Martin. They just everyone's coming back here again. So while we're here, apparently we've got to stock up on 3 or 4 months worth of food.
But also as a North American, and we've been in the Mediterranean for the past 2.5 years, right? As a North American coming to the Dutch side and seeing some of the American brands, like almost like Costco style, like foods, I like bagels.
Oh,
they had bagels, and I almost had a heart attack.
No, wait. We've got something more important to talk about.
Oh, sorry.
So I went to the store the other day, and they had like 2 or 3 dozen stacked high of Vegemite jars. I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah, Vegemite. Yeah.
I mean, I would have got some, but they were like $15 a jar.
Can you explain what Vegemite is for the viewers at home that might not know that?
All right, Vegemite is a beautiful,
disgusting,
most tasteful, amazing, sexual, just sends. Sorry, it's Vegemite is a yeast extract.
It sounds
paste
awful.
that you put on your toast.
It doesn't sound so beautiful or sexual.
Well, I can get back to the original description of it if you want.
Ryan.
But what does it taste like?
Okay, it just tastes like Vegemite.
It just tastes like salt. It's just salty.
It's I don't know. It doesn't really have a taste. But what you need to do is it's the way you can't comment because Brittany's brother gave it to her on a tablespoon, a full tablespoon. Have you ever had it before?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That would be bad.
Full tablespoon.
Yeah, I thought it was chocolate.
Oh, taste this chocolate.
And of course, that's mean.
Yeah. Of course, she's gonna be like, "Oh my god, this is like."
No, you gotta put it on toast, man.
Yeah. So, and the toast has to be just slightly golden brown. It's got to be cooked properly. You got to drench it in butter, and then you got to do a real light coat of Vegemite. That's how you do it.
Light.
Real light coat.
Okay.
Light coat.
You know what? Some Aussies, I think, would
Come around the
disagree
morning,
with
less
you.
Vegemite.
I'm sure there's going to be like some Aussies that are like, no, it needs to be a thick coat of Vegemite
Yeah. No,
on black toast.
No. If they're Aussies, they'll sit there and they'll write in the comments right now and go, yeah, no, that sums it up.
The sexual comment was the best, actually.
Yeah.
There's actual
I agree,
like,
sir.
It's like anchors when you always be like, what's the best anchor? It's like talking about religion. You know what I mean? Vegemite is the same thing on Facebook. There's like, how do you have your Vegemite? And you can put like a picture of the toast with like no Vegemite, tiny bit, little bit, blah blah blah, and then like thick. And it causes like 100,000 comment debate on Facebook of who does it the right way.
Who came up with this thing? This is a total Aussie thing, right? I mean,
who
was the Vegemite guy?
Who was like, ooh, let's make some
Who's the
yeast
heir to the
extract.
Vegemite fortune?
You wanna know?
No.
God.
All right, so God invented Vegemite, according to the Australians.
Don't listen listen to him. He's a convict.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that. I was just thinking that. I'm like, well, you guys are all like escaped convicts,
Yeah.
We
right?
are, aren't we?
Yeah. But that's the story with Australia, right?
Yeah.
That was where you guys got exiled, and
Yeah.
you're all a bunch of hellions.
No,
and
you guys got to check yourself.
Yeah, right.
scared. I'm missing a book. Actually,
Yeah.
I had a Michael Crichton book here earlier. So you have a Oceanus 46, and is this one, you were mentioning before that the 473 wasn't your first choice, like you like the 46 better. Is this a newer one? Is it a newer version, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, so what it was at the time, the 46 is a newer version of the 473. So we were looking at 473 because it was more in our kind of price budget. But it had little, like certain things, like it had 2 backstays, it had a kill step mast, things like that. And then the 46 had a deck step mask and 1 backstay. And the rigging was like, instead of 10 mil, 8 mil, like little things like that, right?
It was a bit more solidly built.
Yeah, a bit more solidly built. But like,
No, you're saying that it was less built.
yeah, the 46. But the thing is, the 46 is a newer design and everything. And that's why I originally wanted the 473. But now we got the 46. Like, I'm so stoked with it. We just got it because it was a good price.
What'd you pay for it? Can you say it?
Yeah, we can say it. So we paid
96.
€96,000 for it.
And what year is it?
2008.
Which we actually got an amazing deal.
Pretty good deal,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
At the time, the cheapest one was about 120,000 euro.
Yeah.
And it was a charter boat that had done like, 5,500 hours, and it was just
And yours had
150.
150.
Yeah, and
The owner didn't even really like. So
And it was kind of brand new when you got it in.
well,
Yes.
it has teak decks and a blue hull, and the teak decks are actually fine. They've never been sanded or anything, but they just hadn't had any TLC. So I gave them a light sand, and they came up brand new. But in the survey, he's like, "Oh, it needs to be replaced." And it's funny because teak is actually it's good. I like teak.
Me too. I love teak.
It's
And if
beautiful.
you give it like, it's just the problem with teak is that people like sand and polish and scrub and clean every couple of months, and they just wear it down. But if you don't touch it or just throw salt,
Yeah. Don't f with it. Just
Yeah,
put some salt water on it. That's all it
exactly.
needs, man.
Yeah.
But we actually purchased our boat. We had been looking at like all the like what is it, traditional like websites and stuff for buying boats and stuff.
Like
and
Yacht World
Yacht
and
World
sailboat
and-
listings
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
And
boats.com.
Ryan ended
Yeah,
up
yeah.
going on Apollo Duck, which is like a
Yeah.
private sale.
Yeah, I
That's
know
where I
that
found
one.
it.
And
yeah.
we-
No shit. You found it on
Yeah.
Polo Duck.
yeah.
And we bought it private sale, but it
Straight
worked
up.
out perfect that, like, as Ryan said, the original owner bought it brand new. He unfortunately passed away before he even really had a chance to use it. The family kind of left it for a long time, not knowing what to do with it. And then they ended up it went into a, what is it?
Mortgagee sale.
Mortgagee
This is
sale.
what we kind of, because it sat there for 10 years, so a lot of the local
10
guys,
years it was sitting
Yeah, no, sorry.
7 years or
Like,
something.
it's no sat for like a long time, but I mean
on the hard or in the water?
No, in the water. Well, not in the water. It got lifted, but the owner had it there in the same marina, same berth for 10 years because it was actually in Grand Harbor, wasn't it, in Malta?
In Malta.
And
And then the person who bought it, the second owner, it really seems like a really nice guy, but I don't think he knew anything about boats. And so he got onto it, and he said he never even took it out. And I think he realized how much work it was going to be, and he just wanted something to enjoy himself on. And so he just like sold
Don't
it
we
off.
all?
Yeah. He just sold it off, and I don't think he realized the value of the boat because I think he got it for a good deal, and he didn't realize the value of that boat because he sold it to us for a really good price, and we wouldn't have been able to even afford that boat had he not sold it.
yeah,
to what he
we
sold
got
it
a
to us
good
for.
price, but there was things like there was no spray hood, there was no bimney, and those things are expensive, right? To buy the frame and that. The engine, it had 150 hours.
new.
It is brand new, but then a diesel engine shouldn't sit for so long
No.
either. It needs to be used. So there were risks that we took. We had to scrape back the hull and redo everything. Just think the rigging, like as we spoke
Yeah,
about
we had to
earlier.
redo the rigging.
We had to redo the rigging because it was nothing been used. There was so many things that had to be done. So we got a good deal, but we did have to put a lot of money into it.
I can just imagine. How long was it actually sitting before, no one used it, and then you bought it?
Yeah, so the locals said that it got lifted it said it looked really bad, like blue hull was faded and growth on it, real bad. And then they would lift it up and they would put on the hard or whatever, and a month later it would come back looking brand new. And then it would sit there for a year or two, and then it would
They'd
get
buff
lifted
it.
again.
They'd clean all the barnacles up.
Yeah.
They'd make soup from the oysters on the bottom of the boat.
But it basically did that since 2000.
Yeah,
whenever,
so someone was
2008.
taking care of it, and they were lifting it,
Thank
from what
God.
I sound,
You
each
guys
year.
are so lucky, dude.
Yeah,
So we basically walked downstairs, brand new boat. The interior was spotless. And in comes the friggin' German, 40-kilo German Shepherd. And he's like, I'm just going to make myself right at home on these couches. I'm going to scratch your leather. I'm going to ruin your timber work.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, the hull, like we've sanded it back and polished it and waxed it and it comes up new each time. But it's good. It's good. But we took a risk. We didn't see it when we bought it.
Yeah.
Not much though, really. I mean, like even if it was seriously fucked up, you could still get $100,000 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could have actually resold it for $100. Like if we had bought it and just did a service and just fixed it all up
And decided like this life isn't for you.
Yeah.
But
We
we've
could've
done
sold it
some
for
really
more.
good upgrades on it too. Like we've got a water maker that Ryan made
you
from
made it?
scratch.
Yeah, I made it from scratch. Yeah.
Oh my bro.
Cost me $1,000.
Nicely done,
100
dude.
liters an hour.
Do you have no shit?
Yeah.
Do you have a video on that?
I actually do.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll link that in the description of this video because everybody should know how to make their own water maker. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ryan called it simple, stupid simple. Like you just kept it.
Yeah, I kept it super basic. I mean, the thing is, these water makers by the companies are pretty good. Like they are good. They got energy saving. All the displays got everything's automatic. They are good. Mine's just super basic. So recently the pre-pump blew. And that was because I put a bucket of spear fishing gear in there and salt water poured over it. And then a month later, it seized. Now, that's really the only thing going wrong with it. The pumps can blow. So I just took the pump out, put another one in, and Bob's your uncle. But sometimes you get a water maker where like the little, like, you know, the MLs, for example?
Yeah.
So they'll have like an automatic switch that when the water hits that certain ppm, it switches over and you get, the water goes into the tank. But if that switch fails, it will never switch over. You will never get water in your tank. And then it's like a big problem. It's like a $400 fix.
Yeah.
You know, so.
You don't want that.
Yeah, well, mine's just basic.
It's not that freaking hard.
It's not, no. Have you got one here?
I've got two.
Nice.
Two.
Yeah.
there we
One's
go.
in Hawaii remember I told you my boat ripped in half and then I had to tie it together and get it into Hawaii.
Yeah.
So when the Coast Guard was on their way to my boat and I decided like, hey babe, we're getting off the boat.
Yeah.
We packed 3 bags. One was my stuff and my camera shit and like I don't know, it'd probably be more bag now. But at the time it wasn't a lot of stuff. And then one was hers, and one was the water maker.
Yeah.
Because it was like the most
it was a
expensive
good
thing
one.
on the boat. It was a Spectra. Yeah, we got sponsored by Spectra.
Yeah. You
And
want to keep that.
I think that we were the first ones to get sponsored by Spectra, actually. And when I called them, I was like, guys, what do you think? Can you give me a water maker? I'm super techie nerdy.
Yeah.
Like I have black nail polish and tattoos, but I'm like a really super nerd. And I love Spectra. They said, okay, yeah, we'll give you one. And I was like, cool. Can I have like the basic model, the cheapest one you make? They're like, nope. We're going to give you a $9,000 one with all the bells and whistles because we want you to promote like this whole automatic thing. So I have one with that. Yeah. And energy saving, display, automatic tank levels. Like it was way too much for my shitty little boat.
But they're good. Like that's what I mean. People go, oh,
they're great.
Like people say water makers are expensive. And I'm like, they are, but like they are a lot better than what I make, But mine does the job.
Boy, you just have to suck on it until you don't taste salt anymore.
Yeah. No, I did include a ppm bloody.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nicely done, sir.
In that price. But
but
it's super basic.
So this is how water makers work, just so you guys will know. So it's a desalinator. We take the water from the ocean and we put it through a membrane that's like really, really tightly packed rope, basically. And we push it through. You have to push it through there because it's so tightly packed. You have to push it through at like 1,000 PSI. And some of the water comes out fresh and some of the water comes out extra salty because it catches that salt. And it's constantly flushing the rest of that salt that it catches through. So about 10% of the water that you push through it comes out as fresh. And it's fresh. I actually talked to those guys at Spectra about should I add things to my water because it's too much fresh, like it's too good.
There's just nothing
Am I getting
in it.
any nutrients from this?
Yeah. Is it sucking my body of them? And they told me, nah, just drink it, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's a game changer, though. Having
It is.
It
So
nice.
The guys next to us, they've kind of running low on water. So today I was
Our
like,
buddy boats we've been cruising with.
our mates that we met in Spain. And now we're Gibraltar, Spain. Yeah, and so now we're here in the Caribbean. Isn't that funny, hey? that you always meet up with someone, don't you?
Yeah, it's
around the
kind
world.
of a circle thing here.
And they run out of water, and we're like, yeah, we'll make some water. So just made him some water today. And
Oh, that
good
was
for
nice
another
of you
week.
guys.
Yeah. But it's
I'm
like,
kind of running low too. You want to?
Hey, you got two. You got two.
Well, no, one's
imagine-
the problem is one's in Hawaii and one's in Florida, so I don't actually have a water wreck on this boat yet.
Oh, if you need some water,
I was gonna say
No. I can just back the boat into the.
I was gonna say this
side.
boat must have a pretty hefty water tank too.
Yeah, I've got 880 liters.
Jesus.
Wow,
Yeah, over 200 gallons.
See, so you know what? I mean, I don't know where you stand on this, but people always say the debate between blue water cruisers and production boats. Now, this is a beautiful boat, right? It's a blue water cruiser. And
Also, Ryan's dream is an oyster.
Yeah,
Really?
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I love the oysters. So
This is a nice. I
but-
like the oysters too.
Yeah,
but-
beautiful boats. Yeah, but like, I mean, we're stoked with ours. but
Yeah.
but the problem is that you're right. Like, there is a blue water boat and there is a production boat. But I feel like after doing the crossing tour of the Atlantic, we did really well on our boat. But you can't just buy a Beneteau and then you got to sail straight across. Like, you do have to set it up. You know, you got to get your water maker, you got to get your sol, you got to get things like these boats, like 880
It's
liters?
already set
880,
up.
yeah.
isn't
880.
it?
So we hold like 400, 450, don't we? You
Oh, that's
know?
not bad for
It's not-
two of you.
Yeah, no,
not
it's
bad.
good. But I mean, but like 880 is like a
Yeah, but I've
solid,
got a lot of crew on this boat. A lot.
yeah.
Mm.
But what-
I'm taking 6 to Cuba,
Wow.
yeah, wow. Yeah.
and I don't have a water maker, bro.
Yeah, geez.
And
okay.
last time I was in Cuba, I actually met these people, and they had a cistern under their house. They were catching water on their roof, and there was a cistern under their house. And I took a pitcher like you would put iced tea in,
Yeah.
and I filled up
Yeah.
all my 5-gallon tanks from the underneath their house with rainwater.
Yeah,
And then hauled it back to my boat, like 60 gallons
Oh,
at a time, and put it in my boat. And that's the only way I could get water.
yeah. Wow. Yeah, we did that in Sicily.
It's kind of
found-
cool, right?
Yeah, it is cool, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
just going around doing that stuff. you know?
Life is about the journey, bro. It's
We
not
used we used to still like find taps during the day, and then we'd go back at night and fill up our jugs and go back and fill the boat up at night.
like,
yeah.
get away.
But do you know what was funny with our boat being like a lighter boat? We were worried about, like, we were excited to cross the Atlantic, but we ended up, when we were in Cape Verde, there was a ton of boats there that were all crossing at the same time. And a lot of them, some of them were light boats like us, like production boats, and some of them were like solid,
yeah.
heavy ocean crossers. And that's what they're like friggin' built for. So we're like, oh, you guys, you know, like we'll be going out at the same time, but we're like, none of us are going to be able to keep up with each other. Everybody's going to go at their own pace and blah, blah, blah. But everybody's like, you know, your boat's so light, you'll get tossed around with the swell and yeah. Do you know what was so funny? The friggin' heavy ocean crossing boats, because we had such light winds, were like dragging ass.
couldn't move.
They could not
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
And we were flying. We had like 8 knots on the beam. We were getting like 6-7 knots average. We were like zipping along. And
Yeah.
we were messaging with all of our buddy boats, and they're like, fuck you guys. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
It's good.
yeah. So, I mean, when people said to me, you can't cross in a Beneteau, you know, I didn't know. I was like, oh, shit, can't I? And then, like, now I've done it. I'm like, well, yeah, we can. And we actually came first out of all our
Yeah,
friends.
good for you, dude.
But don't
But-
get me wrong.
Don't listen to this
Had the
cats.
conditions been different, all of our heavy, like friends with the heavy
Oh,
ocean
yeah, of
crossing
course.
boats would have been having a great old time.
And we
would
would have been the
sitting there.
suckers.
It wasn't until we left the Med that we felt like, okay, what's everybody talking about? Like in the Mediterranean, it's a lot of cruising around. But as soon as we got to the Canaries and Cape Verde, it's like real ocean cruisers out there that are like getting ready for this passage.
Yeah,
we saw every boat, every shape, every size, every degree of like.
Have you been to Med before?
No,
Okay.
I mean I've been there by
like
plane.
sailing, yeah. So sailing, so we're in there, and we got our boat to like 110%. Like we fixed every single thing you can possibly think of before we crossed, because we were like, you know, a bit nervous. And then we got to Cape Verde. Hey, do you reckon Cape Verde?
Yeah.
We got to Cape Verde, and
There's
we're like,
people with chickens on
yeah,
board.
we're like,
and-
wow, these are the real ocean cruisers. And we went on their boats, and like, yeah, we got like a crack in the hull here. We got a few leaks. You know, it's only dripping a little bit of
Bilge
water.
pump's keeping up.
Yeah, but we'll sort it out in
We don't
the
have
Caribbean.
we
And
don't
I'm
have
like,
electricity.
What? I'm like, what are you? You're like, yeah, the generator broke, the solar's not working, so we'll just run the engine for a couple of hours a day. And I'm like, are you serious, mate?
But we were out
But
there.
they got here. They got here.
But we
Yeah,
were
of
out there
course.
on a day, and it was pretty choppy, and we're like, oh shit, you know, the swell's a bit choppy today. Da 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 da. And I see on the AIS a 22-foot boat, And I'm like, oh Jesus, what the hell is that? And I radioed over to them. They were friggin' rowing. It was a rowboat crossing
Cool.
the Atlantic.
That's awesome.
4 dudes, and I'm sitting there thinking we're, getting tossed.
Do you guys
around.
want to tow? You want to
Yeah,
come on board
yeah.
for a little while?
I know.
You want a pina colada?
Yeah,
We
but
actually didn't offer, and we should have done that.
But
Yeah.
you don't realize the amount of people that are doing it. I didn't even realize how many people are actually crossing the Atlantic Ocean, and everybody's in all different kinds of
A
boats. It's
rowboat.
crazy.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know if I could do that.
And they
I'm
weren't
serious.
the only ones. It took them like 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
Oh,
4
no.
guys.
No.
Yeah.
I could do it with 3 girls.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to do much on there.
No, I could.
Yeah, hang on a minute. I could too.
They'd kick me off. Actually, that's the thing. I'd be like bobbing in the middle of the ocean. They'd be like, I don't know what happened to that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he hot? Maybe we should take him outside.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you can hear him moving around the background, that's the
No,
dog.
I mean I don't care. He's,
No, he's
he's a
alright.
big puppy.
He's a
I can't
big
believe
boy.
you have this freaking puppy. How
we
much
get
does he
him?
weigh?
He weighs 30. Last time
He's
we checked,
almost 40
30.
kilos.
Yeah, 35 kilos,
That's a
I think.
big puppy.
Jackson,
We
come here, boy.
Should we get him on camera?
Jackson.
Yeah.
Should we get him on
Yeah.
camera? So you guys, if you're listening to this, you're gonna have to watch.
Jackson, come, mate.
You can tune in at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Come on, mister.
Oh, he's gone the wrong way.
all good.
Oh my
It's all
god, do
good.
not
Don't worry.
knock
No.
that camera over. Come here, mate.
Jackson, come.
Hey, mate. How
So-
are you?
That dog, dude.
Just say
So
hello.
we
the biggest baby.
So we adopted Jackson at 8 weeks old from the RSPCA in Australia, well before we decided to go traveling. Otherwise, we would have got probably a pocket-sized dog.
Yeah.
But he's done really well on board. We actually get questions all the time. How's it like? What's it like sailing with a dog on board, especially his size? But it's all about the dog. He's super chill on the boat, so he's not bothered. I mean, look at him. He's just happy to be here.
Yeah.
The question's not what is it like sailing with a dog on board. It's what's it like sailing like a monster on board.
So we had a lot of guys ask us in Canary Islands and Cape Verde when we were doing the crossing to the Caribbean, oh, can we come and be crew? I'm like, mate, and I'll be walking the dog, right? And I'll be like, mate, look at this thing. I said, this is like having 2 people on our boat. We just don't have the room. Sorry.
So on our Atlantic crossing, basically Ryan was on one side in the cockpit, I was on the other, Jackson was in the middle, and there was literally no room for anybody else. It wouldn't have fit another person on board. Absolutely not.
By the way, oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
Say, by the way, I'm sorry that he came up on the couch here.
Oh, I
was
don't
thinking he was
care,
going to come up
bro.
over there and just pop
I
his
told
head.
you I would not have invited him had I known had I had any problem with that. It's not a big deal.
Also, I would say 90% of our YouTube channel is strictly our subscribers are because of the dog. Like most people are like, oh, we love Jackson. We actually had a subscriber in Turkey sail past us
Oh,
at an
yeah. Hold on.
anchorage. And they were like, oh, Jackson. We heard them calling him. We're like, oh, Jackson. And I came upstairs and I'm like, oh, do you know Jackson? You watch our YouTube channel. He goes, I don't watch your YouTube channel. I watch Jackson's YouTube channel.
yeah.
And I laughed.
we legit laughed. We're like, oh, we're waving to him. And he's like, I just want to say hi to Jackson. And we're like,
And then he just
Yeah.
kept going.
So we just
Wankers.
we just went downstairs.
Yeah.
Let him talk to Jackson.
Yeah.
Hey, mate.
Nice,
Oh, that's
sister.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I had a dog. I had a almost as big as that. Mine was a 120-pound Roddy,
Wow.
Yeah, well,
and he's like pretty much the same size. He's a little bigger, but mine was a little stockier.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And hair everywhere,
Oh.
and I
It's never
fucking
ending.
loved that
Yeah.
dog, man. He was such a cool dog.
Yeah.
But he was such a pain in my butt. I mean, having to go out and I mean, I can just imagine cruising. I was in a marina most of the time. I think he lived on 3 boats with me.
Wow.
And
good.
we were on a Catalina 27 at one point.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Imagine being on a Catalina 27 with your girl and your puppy, man.
The hardest thing about
it's
having,
walking.
I would say the hardest thing about having him is more so just that it like restricts us from what we can do. Like a lot of people might leave their boat for a month and they go back home or something. Like with having the dog on board, one of us has to stay back, or some people put
You
their
can't
boat
leave him on the boat.
well, like for an extended period of time. Like
Like
we
go back to Australia. or
Oh,
something. Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys can't travel.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, how do you take him with you? Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
like if we're gonna go back, it's gonna be like Brittany will go back, then I'll have to go back, and one of us stay back with the boat.
We
but
tag team.
You know what though? I bet if you dressed him up like a child
Yeah, probably
and
pass.
taught him to
Walk at his
walk on his hind legs, you could probably just get him a regular ticket.
Hey,
Yeah.
mate. Hey, well, he's a German Shepherd. So
You'd be
he's
like, man, your
somewhat-
kid is kind of ugly. Well, we can't say that.
God.
But yeah, no, it is hard. I mean, as you know, you got to walk him all the time and there's times where sometimes you just can't, like you just
Yeah,
can't
if
take him
it's
for
piss
a
and
walk.
rain.
Yeah, so
You don't want,
Oh,
man, how many times has that wet dog gone in your boat?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
The worst
boy.
is he shakes in the middle of the boat, and the entire boat just is covered in dog hair afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, but the boat is always clean because it's like you have to clean it.
Yeah.
So I'm always ripping up the floors and keeping the bilges clean because if I
Yeah,
leave
that's a
it longer
problem.
than a month,
Yeah.
I mean, I think some people probably haven't cleaned their bilges in like years, and I'm like every month I have to because he
There's
just
a
gets
small
hair.
dog in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is. Yeah. Yeah, when we brush him, because he's part husky too, right? So he's German Shepherd cross husky. So he's got 2 coats on him. So you got to always brush him, and you can't shave him because it's not good for them with their heat because they need that undercoat.
They need it, yeah.
So you're just brushing him all day, and sometimes I brush him, and I literally have piles of hair like the size of a basketball. And
Yeah, it's pretty
yeah,
brutal.
that's Jackson.
It's really bad when we're pulling lines, like pulling the sails out and stuff, and you just are reefing on the lines, and you get like a ball of hair that just rolls off of it, and you're like, Jesus.
Yeah.
God. It's actually gotten to the point where people come over to our boat, and we're like, there's dog hair. I'm sorry. It's just inevitable.
So when if people come over for dinner, we're like, oh, just so you know, there's gonna be dog hair in your food, and there's just nothing we can do about it.
No matter how hard we try.
You pre-apologize.
Yeah.
You pre-apologize for dinner. I'd like to invite you for dinner tonight and apologize.
But when
the
you watch
dog
our videos, there's so many times we'll like stop and go slow motion when we're talking, or pick dog hair or something, and we always like highlight it, like, oh, here's another piece of Jackson.
One of the
But he's so
perks.
lovable.
No, he is cool. But like basically, you're gonna have dog hair now in your boat in about 3 months' time. You go, oh, those bloody guys from Sailing
Fucking
Sunday.
Jackson.
Yeah.
But we get asked all the time how it is traveling with him, and you'd be surprised. Like, the funny thing is, we've now traveled part of the world, right? We started in the Mediterranean, we crossed the Atlantic Ocean, we're now in the Caribbean. You think it would be really complicated sailing with him, but as long as we've kept all of his like vaccinations and all his paperwork up to date, like most of the countries don't even care that he exists.
Now, there's a lot of people with dogs and cats.
Everybody does it, yeah. Cats
Yeah.
are even easier because they don't even leave the boat barely. Like, but yeah, we've checked into so many countries, and not one of them has ever been bothered that we've had a dog or even asked if we have a dog.
That's not really what I'm scared of. It's just having a dog where I have to take him out. And I know how dogs are. I know how, like, I love dogs, man.
Yeah.
And I want him to be happy, and I want him to go pee where he wants to go pee. And I need to go, like, play ball with him every day. And it would just be such a bitch. Especially, I'm running this boat and a YouTube channel by myself. I mean, if I had a dog like that, dude, imagine I
no
gotta, like,
time.
go, okay, I'm editing now, I'm in the zone. Oh, no, dog needs to go out. Now I
Yeah.
gotta spend half an hour taking the dog out.
Yeah.
We do have like parents' guilt a lot of the time, but then we sit there and see so many animals that are like living.
Oh, yeah, at least you don't have any
terrible life.
broken legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was eating lobster the other day.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
too bad for him.
Shut up and piss in the freaking sand.
Yeah.
No, but you know, we also had him before we decided to do this. So it's like you just got to come along for a ride. You got to adapt, buddy. Here we
Yeah, I
go.
love it.
You're
I love
coming.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got it all right. He's a big dog to be on a boat, but
Yeah.
he could be worse.
But I think the next boat we'll have to look into would have to be a catamaran, hey, because of his hips, right?
Absolutely.
So we
Cat's
gotta-
the way to go with a puppy.
We have to try
Yeah.
and get him, but it's hard because I really love the mono, I love the mono hulls, but
We have this discussion, like debate all the time.
hey, all the time. Like I want to get like a bigger mono hull, but then Brittany's like, no, we need a cat, and I secretly know we do because of the dog. Hey mate, you want to say hi? Yeah, you can hear him through the
Will he
headphones.
speak? Will he speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's definitely husky. He's a husky.
You get him
Oh.
howling for.
Okay.
Yeah, down, buddy. Jump down. Go on. Oh, good boy.
Yeah,
Good boy.
all the huskies do
Okay, easy.
that.
Now he's gonna be all fired up.
Yeah, we fired up now.
Oops.
Yeah.
We screwed up.
Oh, you got to hear him howl.
Yeah.
That's cool. He's a cool dog.
No,
Nice guy. He's very intimidating. You definitely don't need to lock your boat.
No. Although we did have our dinghy stolen in Mindelo, and you'd be surprised that Jackson was on the boat. These guys like swam up to the back of our boat in the dark. Luckily for those guys, Jackson was downstairs. But we're like, you're not a very good not a very good guard dog if you didn't sense that there's somebody at the back of our boat untying our dinghy. He was just living the life watching movies downstairs with us.
we got the dinghy back.
Yeah, we did get it back.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's the one we got now. So
We caught them
rowing away, and we got a massive spotlight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, from the top of your boat.
Yeah.
And did they jump off the boat or something?
Yeah, they jumped off the dinghy. So they swam to the dinghy. So they didn't get onto the boat because everything was dry. We had a camera and GoPro and everything sitting on the table. So they definitely didn't come onto the boat. I said to Brinny, look, if they came onto the boat, Jackson definitely would have gone crazy. But what they did was they swam from shore. We're 200 meters from the beach.
Wow.
They swam from shore, climbed onto the dinghy, obviously unhooked it from the cleat, and floated away, rowed away. And then we got him about 100 meters away, didn't we? And I had the spotlight on him, and I was just like, "Oi, what the?" He's screaming.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, you motherfucker.
So the first guy just was like, fuck this, and he
jumped in.
abandoned ship.
And the second guy starts trying to start it, but the key wasn't in. So he's reefing on it. And then eventually I'm just engine up, anchor up, and I'm just yelling, and Brittany's got the light on him. And this light's huge. And anyway, he jumped in and we got the dinghy back.
abandoned ship too.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude. You guys did it. Nicely done. Not a lot of people have done that.
But if anybody, if I can suggest anything, invest in a really good spotlight, because those guys could have tried to get away, but the fact that we lit them up and we were able to watch them the whole way along, it really scared the crap out of them, and they abandoned.
Do you have any suggestions, for a specific spotlight?
You know what? I don't even know what ours is called, eh?
I don't know. Somebody asked us the other day.
We wrote back to him, but I don't know what it is. It's just, it was on the boat when we got it.
But it's an intense.
It's one of those, is it Cree LED or the real bright one?
It's crazy.
It's just a big beam, and we can see, it's incredible, isn't it? You can actually see the beam through the darkness, one of those type lights.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know. Do you have any suggestions? Do you have a good
I had one called a Barracuda that somebody sent me. It was made by Army Tech, and I think it's $120 or something like that. It held 3 of those 3455 or 3566 or whatever those batteries are that all the lights hold. 3 of them. And this thing was so crazy bright. I mean, it went 800 meters, it said.
Yeah.
It never went 800 meters, but it was stupid bright. And it was waterproof, so I could take it diving.
Nice.
But then one day I took it diving and
didn't work.
Didn't come back.
There we go.
No, but
That
it's
was the day I
saving
got bit by a triggerfish, actually.
Really?
What?
Yeah, you guys are getting into spearfishing, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just started.
You know what a triggerfish is?
Yep.
Yeah.
So triggerfish have really small brains. It's really hard to kill them, and they have really tough skin.
Yeah.
So I thought I killed this thing, and I put it in my bag because I carry a bag to put my fish in, which probably isn't a good idea for sharks. But
Yeah.
and then my light goes out, and I'm like, "Fuck, okay, well, I guess I'll swim back." And I'm swimming back, and I feel this thing, and it just pinches me a little bit, and I'm like, "What was that?" And then he freaking latches on, man.
Oh,
and they have teeth
They've
like
got
a
teeth.
human, dude.
Yeah.
It hurt so bad.
Yeah.
That was his last you.
Yeah.
Killing me, man.
Did good eating or what?
Oh,
Or
I
was
love
it-
Trigger. Yeah, Trigger is
Really? Yeah,
one of the
right.
best fish. I am personally, I think they're one of the best reef fish.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, because
Okay.
you can cut their they have skin almost like a shoe. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like
really,
leathery.
really strong. No scales. It's leather.
Yeah. Okay.
So you cut all that off, and then you skin it, and then you flip it over, and you just grill it. And you don't flip it over the other way. You just grill it in the skin, let the skin get black, and then all the juices and stuff flow into the fish. Or what you can do is cut it into pieces, fillet it, get it off the skin, cut it into pieces, then bread it and fry it. Really good fish for fish tacos.
Well, we only just started getting into it because we were in the Med for so long, and the Mediterranean, going diving down there, there's no fish, reef fish or anything like that.
Hold on. You got to do that. There's no fish.
Yeah, in the Med. Yeah, I've heard.
No fish.
Yeah, so then coming here, it's been overload, and we're like, okay, this feels like a good place to get into it. It makes sense. There's a lot of abundant fish
Yeah,
around.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we started getting into it, but we've just stuck to the little yellowtails
yellowtail
and jacks
snappers, the bar jacks, yellow jacks. mutton snappers. We've just been sticking to them.
I started with the hand spear, and the boys were all like, we went out with friends, and the boys are like, oh yeah, give the girls the hand spears. They won't get anything, but they can just go play around. And I started getting friggin' yellowtail snappers.
She got 2 fish on her first time ever going spearfishing with a
Nicely
hand
done,
spear.
And the guys were all like, what the hell? And they're like, Ryan, you got to upgrade her. You got to upgrade her to a real spear
she
gun.
got her a gun now. But
Yeah.
tell them why.
Why?
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 Because you got part native in you.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're used to your lineage is like
I've got
no rubber bands at all.
I've got Cree Indian and way back in my background, so we're all joking that the reason I can spearfish is because I've got.
That might be
Indian.
true. I'm a really
got
good
enough blood, there
spearfisher,
you
and
go.
I've got
There you
Quinault
go.
Indian in me.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, you got to punch it.
Yeah.
But you were saying something. You go down like 20 meters.
Yeah, that's
More.
Crazy.
I can get to 30. My deepest is 36,
Wow, that's awesome.
which is like 120 feet.
Jeez. Okay.
And I don't want to push it any more than that. I've been that deep. And what's crazy about that depth is you get so compressed that you can feel it in your lungs. You can feel it in your head. You can, I know a guy that goes to like 200 feet. He's like, those adrenaline junkie kind of
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you catch a big fish down there and you have to fight it up to the surface, like you're going to die, dude.
Yeah, that's scary.
And there's things that happen with you, like they train you, you talk to people and you get a set of lung compressions. So your lungs will start spasming and you have to like fight through that because your body's like, hey, I need to breathe right now.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 minutes into it, you start to get these compressions and then you just have to fight through it and like meditate a little bit and they'll go away. And then it'll happen again.
And then they go away. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
but it'll happen again. So the second time is like the yellow light. There's a green light, yellow light, red light. So the third time it happens, you're gonna pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
wow.
Very fairly soon after that. And what the crazy thing is these guys that go that deep, they have to pass out at a certain point just to figure out where in their body, because every single person
What
is
their
different.
limit is.
Yeah.
Onto where in that stage, that 3-stage thing, they pass out.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Isn't that
And
freaking
what-
insane?
Yeah.
And what's the benefit? Is it the bigger fish down there, or just more of a challenge,
Oh,
or
well,
what?
I mean, yeah, more of a challenge. It's probably it's a boy thing too.
Yeah.
And
We saw the lobster in the sink over there.
there's
Yeah.
way bigger lobster down deep. There's way better wrecks down deep. There's
Yeah.
there's bigger fish down deep. I mean, if you can go to 200 feet, you can stay at 60 feet for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
And if
that's
you can stay down
insane.
there, you can get some good fish, man. Like all the good fish are down a little deeper.
Wow.
See, we're still learning. Like we're going down like 10 meters.
I've gotten to 5 meters, and I was like, hell yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah. Brittany's got a big bit of junk in the trunk
Okay.
though, so she can't get that
Wow.
down.
No,
Yeah.
see-
You can
No.
hit them if you
No,
want.
no,
I-
No, it's true.
No, it's
so
true.
this is for the ladies out there. If you struggle with trying to dive down, our asses. I mean, I've got a big ass. It is a friggin' flotation device. I'll be trying to go down, and my butt is literally lifting me up. So I'm trying to dive down.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ryan, what's going on? He's like, you gotta get some weight belts for that thing. In our YouTube
We've been
videos.
joking about it. She dives down, but like when she
My
comes back
butt's
up, her
like
bum
this.
like floats her up like a.
Beautiful.
So I've had to get a few weights to help me get diving down.
Ah,
Now
well.
I'm slowly starting to learn.
They should make like a special ass weight pack for that. You should patent it.
Yeah.
There you go.
New invention.
Yeah.
Sunday ass weights.
Oh, yeah.
It's true though. The girls will understand it.
Yeah,
The
we're
guys
learning.
won't. You guys are all like, you don't have the same issues we do.
Nah. Well, I won't get into that.
My head is the flotation device.
Which
Which
one?
one? Yeah.
You guys have been together a long
Way too
time.
long. We got the same jokes.
Yeah.
That's cute, man. You guys are cute.
Mhm.
All right. I think this is actually a really good time to stop this podcast. It's been an hour and 23 minutes. I've had a really good time with you guys.
I feel like we've ended
Yeah,
on a
thanks.
high as
yeah,
well.
we definitely ended on a
Yeah.
high. We got Jackson on the podcast like we said we were gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys would like to learn more about Ryan and Brittany, go to youtube.com/Sailing Sunday. Do you guys have a website?
Yeah, it's just www.svsunday.com.
Yeah.
SV Sunday.
Yeah, not too creative.
Love
there,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
But thanks for having me.
Anything else you want to add?
No, nice meeting you.
Your Instagram channel, maybe?
At Sailing Sunday, is it? Or _ Sunday?
Sailing under Surf
You'll
Sunday.
find it
Obviously,
there.
she handles that one. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, thank you guys. It was a pleasure. Much love.
Thank
and
you.
see you
Thank you.
soon, okay?
Yeah,
Yes,
awesome.
everybody, thank you.